Hello fellow stackers, 365 here, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of this video, I've purposely picked up a fake American Silver Eagle. Now I wanted to do a video like this to kind of show you the warning signs to look out for when you're purchasing silver. Now this mainly applies to the newer stacker, however even the seasoned stacker has been known to fall for a fake gold or silver coin, and that is because some of these fakes are so realistic, and sometimes they even slip through the net at bullion dealers. Now I've heard on YouTube where people have actually bought a silver or gold coin from their local coin shop, and it's turned out to be silver or gold plated and not be the precious metal that it's advertised to be. So you have got to have your wits about you, and this video is to kind of educate people on what to look out for. Now the first most important piece of advice that I would give is to always make sure you're buying from a reputable source. Now eBay is probably one of the least reputable places to pick up precious metals when we're talking about places online, and that is because you get a lot of people on there that are trying to sell fake gold or silver. Now whenever you're purchasing precious metals from eBay, always make sure that you check out the person's feedback. You make sure that they've been selling for a long time. I would say minimum 500, if not more, positive feedback ratings, and also click on where it shows you what else they're selling. And if they've only got a handful of silver or gold coins for sale and the rest of the stuff they're selling is shoes or clothes or DVDs or whatever it may be, it shows that they don't specialize in precious metals. So that therefore shows you that not necessarily is the real deal, because they might be trying to sell it thinking it's real, but they might not even know that it's not the real deal themselves. So for me, if I'm buying on eBay, I always make sure that it's someone that specializes in precious metals. I like to look at, like I said, 500 as a minimum in terms of feedback rating. I normally tend to go for ones that are a lot higher than that, like in the thousands. And I like to see someone that is purely selling gold or silver, because then you know that that's their kind of business, and you know that they're not going to risk their whole reputation by selling a couple of fakes if they built up such a strong positive feedback rating and that's their main kind of source of income, if you like. If that's what they're solely selling, they're not going to risk trying to sell a couple of fake items. And also they know what to look out for as well, so they're not going to kind of fall for people trying to sell them fake items. So that's what I would say if you're going on eBay. Places like Bullion by Post, Shards, obviously the Raw Mint. If you're going directly to mints, they're very safe. And a lot of the bigger bullion companies that you would have heard of, where you pick up your precious metals from, they're normally a safe bet, because again, they're not going to risk their whole business, the whole reputation, by selling anything that's not legitimate. Now, a place that I would definitely avoid, and this is actually where I picked up this item from, is Etsy. Now, probably goes without saying, for those of you that know Etsy, it's not really the best place to be picking up precious metals. It kind of specializes in arts and crafts and kind of small business things like gifts and things like that. So straight away that rings alarm bells to me. It's not somewhere that when you speak to someone, like those of you that speak to anyone that stacks or other YouTubers, they're never going to say, oh, look at this great deal that I got on Etsy, for example. So that's definitely a place I would say be very careful. Now, the next alarm bell to keep a lookout for is a price that looks too good to be true. Now, the saying always goes, if something's too good to be true, it normally is. So if you see a 1 ounce gold coin, for example, selling for £800, which is way below spot, then things like that should obviously warn you straight away that it's not the real deal. Same as if you see a silver coin for, say, £10 or £12, something like that, then again, you shouldn't expect to get the real deal if you're paying those sort of prices. So that's a big alarm bells. If you're seeing items for sale that are way below spot, then again, I would steer clear of those. Now, this is an item I picked up, and I'll put a screenshot on the screen now to show you. Like I said, this was from Etsy, and you can see it's a 2020 American silver eagle. Now the price of the actual coin was £5.73, so you can see already very, very cheap. Now the delivery was £2.71 and the tax was £1.69, so it brought it up to £10.15 in total, which is obviously a fraction of the price of one of these coins. In the UK currently these coins are around £35 to £40 upwards, so sort of 1/5, 1/4 of the price that they should be. So they're straight away, that's the alarm bells. Now if I can find it, I will put on the screen now some of the feedback that people that had brought these coins were leaving after they brought them. And it's crazy to think that people were actually buying these coins thinking they're the real deal. It just goes to show you that people out there who don't really know what they're talking about, and it's not their fault because they're just trying to get in. They probably heard that gold or silver potentially could be a good investment, and they're just trying to dip their toes in it, and they see a kind of a cheap coin and they think, right, I'll get this, and then obviously they're disappointed when it turns out fake. So you can't always blame the buyer, especially when there's not much information out there to do with precious metals. When I first got into it, it was very, very hard to find books that specialised in gold and silver. Now, over time, I have picked up a few books, but they're few and far between. So it's not as easy as some of the other investment vehicles out there. I actually found it easier to find books on crypto and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the rest of it than it was to find decent books on gold and silver. So it is actually very hard to get knowledge if you don't know the right places to look. So let's get straight into the video. So the first thing obviously there is buying on Etsy. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend that when you're picking up precious metals. The second thing there is the price is way under spot. So again, that should be an alarm bell. Now the third alarm bell is when the item arrived. It arrived from China, and you can see that they've declared it as $1 its value, and they put it down to desktop metal. So again, it's coming from China, so that's alarm bells in itself. And also the fact that they've not even kind of paid the right postage for it to be insured or anything like that. So if obviously if this went missing in post, they'd only get back $1 because that's all they've declared it's worth. So again, alarm bells, if you get something from China, then quite often, if it's to do with precious metals, it's not going to be the real deal. Now, not always the case, but in my personal experience, it has been the case. So again, that's the first alarm bells. Now this is the inside the packaging. So very nicely packaged, comes in this bag inside. And again, the coin is actually really nicely packaged. It's in this kind of Ziploc airtight bag, and it's also in a capsule. So, which I was quite impressed about, considering all in it was £10 including delivery. So straight away it actually looks very legit when you first look at this. Now obviously it's got a proof finish, so again, if you know what you're looking for, that's going to send alarm bells, because you're not going to be able to pick up a proof coin for even bullion prices, and the fact this is way under bullion prices is obviously major alarm bells. But in terms of design, now I'm not going to compare it to one of the legitimate ones just yet, because I want you to kind of look at it with an open mind and see if you would be tricked into this, especially if you was a newer stacker and you'd only seen American Eagles, say, on YouTube videos, and you kind of pick this up. Would you straight away look at that and say that's a fake? Now I wouldn't look at that straight away and say that's a fake, because the design's the same. You've got the year at the bottom there. And if you flip over on the other side again, looks very convincing. All the same things that you'd expect to see. It even says 1 ounce fine silver on the bottom. So, in my opinion, it's a very good fake. Now, the fact that this has been picked up for £10 obviously shows you that it's not legitimate. The actual post, if you read the post, it says on there that it's, I don't even think it's silver plated. It might be silver plated, but I'm pretty sure it's not even silver plated. So I'm not sure exactly what metal it is, but it does say very clearly on the post that it's a counterfeit. It's not the real deal. But some people have actually brought this not reading the description properly, and they've left negative feedback. Now for me, I know the weight of these, so straight away this feels too light. It feels very light. And those of you that stack precious metals will know that silver's quite dense, quite a heavy metal. So for me, I would know straight away just from the weight of this. Now, let's put it next to a real one and let's start to really pick it apart. So straight away, like I said, I can feel the weight difference. That's got a nice bit of weight. This is very, very light. But when you actually compare them, there's not much in it in terms of design. Very, very good copy. Like I said, the only difference is a proof finish. But imagine if this was a proof finish, there isn't much in terms of design. Now, there's another concern. When you flip, with all coins flip different ways. So with the American Silver Eagles, they flip from top to bottom. Whereas if you flip this from top to bottom, it's going to be upside down. So that's another big telltale thing straight away. It flips from left to right, whereas the legitimate ones flip up and down. So straight away that's a concern. But if we look at the actual designs, again, it's very, very good. The text looks exactly the same. The design looks very, very similar. Now, if you look closer at this, you can see there's more detail on the wings. It's not as much detail, but I think that's a very, very good replica. And I definitely wouldn't kind of imagine that someone that's just started stacking would be able to identify that straight away. So it just goes to show you, you do need to be very, very careful when it comes to picking up counterfeits. You can see it's quite a bit thicker and it's quite a bit smaller. They've tried to increase the thickness to kind of increase the weight of it to try and get it similar to a weight of that, but it doesn't make much difference. This is much heavier than this. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you that. I wanted to give you a few tips and a few pointers of what to avoid. And also I wanted to pick up a fake one just to show you that there are some really good fakes out there. So yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Have you got any coins in your stack that have turned out to be fake? Have you checked all of your stack? Or could you 100% confidently say that your stack is 100% legitimate? Because I know I couldn't. I haven't checked every single one of my silver and gold purchases. Like I said, my main thing is buying from reputable dealers. I would rather pay a slight bit of a premium on a coin and know it's legit instead of saving a couple of pounds and taking the risk. But I can not hand on heart say that my whole stack is 100% legitimate. When I come to cashing in the future and I come to sell some items, I wouldn't be shocked if a couple of them were not the real deal. But again, that's the risk you take. Unless you're going to invest in a Sigma machine or a kind of precious metal detecting machine that will tell you, they're about £1,000. So unless you're willing to invest in one of those, or every time you make a purchase you're going to take it down to your local coin shop and get them to verify it for you, you're never going to be sure. So I think the biggest takeaway from this video is to make sure that you buy from reputable dealers in the first place, because it saves all the hassle of getting something in your hands that doesn't turn out to be the real deal, and then the whole hassle of trying to return it, trying to get your money back and all the rest of it. The best thing to do is to make sure you're buying from reputable dealers in the first place to avoid even getting one of these coins in your possession. But yeah, in my opinion, I think that's a very good replica. I think if this wasn't kind of a proof finish and it had the more sort of frosted finish, then even more so, that would definitely pass for the real deal. Like I said, the seasoned stacker wouldn't fall for it because they know the weight, they know the thickness, they know the feel of an American Silver Eagle with their eyes closed. But definitely you can see how people kind of fall for this. So yeah, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. I'll leave them there for you to have a little look at. I'm going to have to make sure I separate that from my stack, but like I said, it's not going to it's not going to disappear amongst the legitimate ones anytime soon. So yeah, like I said, let me know what you think about this video. As always, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.